You look like who you say you are, so scoot over, let me drive your car. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. Lividian Publications. Ever hear it? Lividian Publications, in partnership with the Friendly Neighborhood Mail Lady, has hooked a brother up. They put a package, got a package in the mailbox. It's here, and I want to show you what it is. Before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about Lividian Publications, one of my favorite publishers walking God's green earth. I've gotten all sorts of signed, numbered, limited edition books from Lividian, and I truly dig it. I put up a lot of videos showing you books that I've gotten from them. The owner, a fellow by the name of Brian James Freeman, he's OCD, one cool dude.
I saw a woman psychiatrist, and she said I was OCD, one cool dude.
One of my absolute favorite publishers, like I said, but he's also got a Patreon deal. Patreon is where you can pay money on a monthly or annual basis, and depending on the pledges that you make, you get on different tiers, and the different tiers deliver you goods, products, and I've shown you quite a few products that I've gotten from my Brian James Freeman limited edition tier from the Patreon deal. And what I'm going to show you today is also goods derived from that deal. And before I do, I got a few things here from Brian James Freeman already, and I think I've shown you these. One is Burying Little Annie, and that's a short story there, and one is Doing Dirty Work. Now, these are neat. I think I've showed you, but essentially you got this cool envelope with a little chapbook inside that's signed, that's got artwork, interior illustrations. They're really cool. Go back in time, you can see what I did there. Also, I've got a collection of short stories published by Lividian Publications from Brian James Freeman. I actually bought this one on Amazon a while back. They had a sweet price. Walking with Ghosts, a neat collection of stories. Let me show you the table of contents real quick, if I can find it. The table of contents showing you what's in. You want to take a quick glance. Pretty sure you can still buy these on Amazon, probably many other places. And there's more, but wait, there's more. So Brian James Freeman, one of the greats in the publishing world of limited edition books, and also author. And what I have here, I'm pretty sure, since I'm on the Brian James Freeman tier, is more. So let's open it up, see what is in here, see what she looks like, and we'll talk a little bit about it. And if you've read anything from Brian James Freeman, pipe up. Tell me what you think. I've read some of these short stories here, and I like it. I like what I see. I don't know if all I've read from Brian James Freeman is short stories. Good. So hopefully he keeps up mashing them buttons, punching out stories, and that part of the business does very well for him as well. But let's open up here, see what all we got from Lividian Publications. You're going to get stuff well protected in a box, foam cushion protecting, and I got an empty. It's an empty secret door. Hopefully there's more. Let's see what else is in here. All right, there's some packages. So stuff in there to keep it nice and tight. I'm sure he uses this phone for a variety of different shipments. So you got to take steps to make it fit. So it keeps the stuff therein nice and secure. Then a bubble envelope. And let's see what is included. Today, Hooks Police Academy. Here we go. All right, so first up, inside this bubble envelope, I have a hardcover right here, Sad Broken People. And that dust jacket artwork is fabulous. It's flipping phenomenal. Let's see who the artist is. Who is the artist? Vincent Chung. Cover artwork, Vincent Chung. Dust Jacket Design 2024. And I don't know all about Sad Broken People, so I want to open it up and see all about it. So let's first of all There is our dust jacket. Great Vincent Chung artwork. I really, really like it. And then here's the book. We got cloth covered boards, foil stamping on the front and on the spine. And let's see. Oh man, look at that. See that sewn binding right there, as well as a built-in ribbon page marker. So pulling out all the stops on this little signed limited edition book here, there are our colored end papers. And, well, what do you know? Signed by Glenn Chadbourne, Vincent Chung, Brian James Freeman. This is copy 122 of 500 numbered copies. This special signed limited edition has been published exclusively for Brian James Freeman's supporters on Patreon as of December 1st, 2023. Nice. Exclusive. I like it, exclusive. And that signature page does look cool. And this copy of Sad Broken People is a collection of stories. Let me see if I can find a table of contents here and show you what is included. So you can see here, it includes some of the stories that I showed you that I have chapbooks for. So you have The World and a Writer, foreword by Robert McCammon, one of my favorite authors. A Cure for the Sickness, Doing Dirty Work, Fireflies, Self-Improvement, and the Zombie Apocalypse. That sounds good. An Unusual Proposition for a Mountain Man. Mountain Man. You got to respect the Mountain Man. Burying Little Annie and Story Notes. So we have a collection of stories, and just show you kind of what the paper looks like and our text there. It's pretty good size for reading, I'd say. Sometimes in these limited edition books, or even in trades, you get very, very tiny print, and some of the folks have a little trouble with it. But this looks really good. So I want to flip through here and see. The dust jacket was Vincent Chung. Glenn Chadbourne signed the book. So that would tell me, not that smart, but I think that would imply that there would be some Glenn Chadbourne artwork within. And if I know my Glenn Chadbourne, which I don't know expert, but I can look at some things and say, that's Glenn Chadbourne. Sure enough, Glenn Chadbourne artwork therein. Let's just see how many of those there are. So far I've found one. I might have missed some, but there's more Glenn Chadbourne artwork included. I'm going to try to flip through here and show them all to you. Great work. I love artwork in books. It sure is a nice added dimension, added value. It adds to the reading enjoyment, and it adds to me, the value as far as the tangible value of a book. When you have great stories, but also great artwork, it helps to accentuate the story. It helps to accentuate the pleasure of reading the book. And it's really nice to go back and see some of this amazing work here. So it looks like Brian James Freeman has put Glenn Chadbourne to work. All sorts of interior illustrations here. And I still got another piece to show you. There's a chapbook over there. I'll show you that as soon as I get done flipping through here and showing you all this flipping artwork. Great. The Brian James Freeman limited edition tier on Patreon, I think I pay $200 a year for it. I'm pretty sure that's what I pay. You pay annually, you get a slight discount. So I pay $200 a year. I said annually, although it can be a pain in the anus to pay for stuff. But I think I pay $200 a year. And man, I've gotten so much more than my money's worth out of this little deal here. I can't recommend the Brian James Freeman Patreon enough. I recommend at least get in on the lower tier, the chapbook editions tier. All the chapbooks that he throws around, some great ones from some great people on some great subject matter. Man, some of them are highly sought after, but quite a few, and well worth the investment. And this is one cool limited edition book right here that I really, I knew that something called Sad Broken People was coming out. And I knew that it was from Brian James Freeman, but I didn't know much about it. I didn't know what stories would be in it. I probably could have learned if I'd have paid more attention. But I sure enough didn't know that Homeboy was going to hook us up with a quality limited edition book here with all of the features that one expects out of a limited edition book. But this one here is, it's not for free. I mean, I pay the annual fee, but it's better than it has to be. And I think that's one of the things that makes Lividian Publications special. Brian James Freeman's been around. He's worked for other companies. He's seen the greatness and he's seen the awfulness that a publisher can do. And I think he's learned and he's put that learning to good use. So next what we have here is the Lividian Publications envelope covering the chapbook. And this one is A Cure for the Sickness. And man, look at that. Take a good look up close. There is a chapbook from Brian James Freeman, Lividian Publications. And man, that's good artwork there. It sure looks good. I don't even gotta flip to the first page before I know who does this artwork. There's some artists, I just talked about Glenn Chadbourne, you can recognize. And I almost said, I know Glenn Chadbourne's art when I see it, just like I know Francois Valancourt's artwork when I see it, because it is so good. It is so fabulous, but it's also usually distinctive. Artists have their own style, just like authors have their own style. And Francois is, I hate to say one of my very favorites because I really can't think of anybody that I like better. So I will say my very favorite artist, walking God's green earth, Francois Valancourt, and pretty much without exception, there's a few others that I put up there with him where I dig their work so much. But he just does so many great illustrations and so many books that I can't really say anybody would be better in terms of my taste. So A Cure for the Sickness, a limited edition chapbook. Mine is copy 122 of 500. And I've gotten quite a few chapbooks on this limited edition chapbook, or this Brian James Freeman limited edition tier on Patreon. This really worked out for me. Gotten some really good stuff. And stuff like this is so cool, not only because it's great, but you get a chance to read some people and some things that I probably wouldn't have just gone out and said, I'm going to read that guy's work. This gives you an opportunity to expand the reading repertoire. And here we are looking at Francois Valancourt's artwork. Looks so good. Bright colored illustrations showing some dark and gloomy images. And then just the end of the chapbook you can see on the front. Some artwork therein. But A Cure for the Sickness. And man, I really dig this kind of stuff. I feel like this is one of the great values in the book collecting world is the Brian James Freeman Patreon. So I got some reading to do and I get to add stuff in there into my Brian James Freeman collection now. And the other chapbooks that I have, these were in a plastic bag. But I guess since this was shipped with another book, they're not in a plastic bag. So now my collection is just ruined. You got some books in a plastic bag and this one's not. Might as well just, I'm just kidding. I looked over there and saw the others were in a bag. But anyway, I recommend it. Go check it out. Brian James Freeman's Patreon. I definitely say you got to go out there and check out Lividian Publications. You just don't get, if you don't check out Lividian Publications and you're a limited edition book collector, there we go, ain't that good, then you are missing out. You get more for the dollars from Lividian Publications. And there's different tiers of books. There's a publisher called SST. They give great stuff. Limited edition, signed, illustrated books, cloth bound, Smith sewn binding, great authors, and they have this price. Typically, it's going to be in the $60 to $70 range delivered to the United States. Nobody does that for that price except for them at that quality. And then there's maybe another tier where the Lividian Publications, you're going to get slipcases in your books typically. And the price is going to be a little higher. But again, in that tier, Between Lividian Publications and Suntup Editions Artist / Classic Edition, nobody gives you that stuff, that much stuff for that price. So Lividian's in there, in that $100, $125 range a lot of times for their full-size novels from authors like one of my very favorites, Robert R. McCammon, but other authors out there that people dig. Bentley Little, for one. They've published some very, very good authors and some very good work, and they keep that price where when you get the book in the mail, you feel like you got more than your money's worth. So I strongly recommend them. And with that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell, so thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it, and say la vie, baby. Goof. Doo-doo.
Huck to it.